Hey everybody, what's happening? Welcome back to the Star Wars headquarters. We are back again with another news video, and we are talking about, of course, the new game mode, Capital Supremacy, that was just revealed yesterday. So if you missed that, be sure to click on the link in the description because we did an entire video info blowout on all of those details, so check it out. And today we are talking about how there are hints that new maps will be coming to the new game mode, Capital Supremacy, details on the vehicles and heroes that will be available in the new mode, how spawning works in the new mode, and so much more. But first, we're going to jump to this right here, which has surprised me. This is some concept art that has appeared recently. Some of you may have seen it before, but I've never seen this before. And this particular concept piece for Star Wars Battlefront 2, it is official concept art. It lines up with the description of the new location that will be available in the new game mode, Capital Supremacy. So it says the following. It says, at release, Capital Supremacy will be playable on Geonosis Pipeline Junction West and the two capital ships. This new location features rolling sand dunes, characteristic cliff formations, areas contaminated with toxic waste from the close-by droid foundries, and a mysterious boneyard where you'll find the remains of large creatures from across the galaxy. So, if you look at this again, you know, that's the official description from the blog post or community transmission yesterday, and it's lining up with what we're seeing here. You know, you're seeing kind of swampy areas. You're seeing what looks like pipelines almost in the background there. You can see the pipes going up. So, I believe this is what the new Capital Supremacy version of Geonosis is going to look like, at least one section of it. Now, there was more concept art on the ArtStation website as well, and this is another picture that we talked about a while ago, and we made a whole video about this a while back, and as you can see, it lines up with the description. You can see kind of like a swampy look and toxic waste. You can see the pipes up there to the left. There's this image right here as well, and then we have this concept art here, which shows, you know, the boarding of the capital ships. So we believe this is going to be very similar to what you will be experiencing when you play on the Capital Supremacy game mode. And then there's finally this shot right here, which shows the Venator class destroyer in the distance. So again, all kinds of exciting stuff to look forward to with this game mode. But you know, the question is, will we be getting more maps for the game mode? We're going to talk about that here in just a second, but I did want to mention this real quick, that the community manager did point this out. He said, Geonosis Pipeline West is a new take on Geonosis. It looks like Geonosis that you know from Galactic Assault, but it is a new experience. It's been created with Capital Supremacy in mind. I enjoy running through the caves and flanking the enemy when the battle on the surface is getting heated. So there are also cave networks on this map as well. So I'm extremely excited for it, as you can tell. Hit that like button if you are looking forward to March 26th, when of course the new game mode releases with the new reinforcements. Let's go for 3,000 likes. Now, let's talk about the possibility of more maps coming to Geonosis, because from what the community manager said on, I think it was on Discord, it looks like we may be getting more maps in the future. At least that's what they're kind of hinting at. So when answering to this, the community manager responded and said, I'm not going to go into the reasons why I can't talk about stuff, but yeah, it's frustrating for everyone. As I said, I did edit the community transmission, which took out one line I suspect would have calmed some things down, and much of the community are in agreement that that one line was probably referencing to another map for Capital Supremacy. So I'm hoping that in April they announce another map and release it in April. You know, hopefully it's one of the Clone Wars maps. And how cool would it be to eventually get a whole new map like Coruscant or Mustafar for the Capital Supremacy mode? I really hope we get that. So we'll see what happens here in the future. Now let's move on to the next topic here. So with spawning, that has been a big subject. And I asked out on Twitter, I said, you know, 3 quick questions. Do you know if we will be able to spawn on command posts? What about vehicles like the AAT? And when can we expect new maps? The community manager responded and said, no spawning on command posts, yes to vehicles, and I can't talk about future content. Now, we're going to go through those one by one. So with the no spawning, the community management team clarified that, you know, even though you can't spawn on the command post directly, your spawn location will change based on enemy locations, ally locations, and command posts. So you will still have multiple spawn points, even though you can't actually, you know, pick a command post to spawn on. Now, here's my opinion on this. I really hope they do add the ability to spawn on command posts. I think that's a really important feature, and I personally really want to see this added to Capital Supremacy. So what do you think? When I pulled out on Twitter, it was kind of like, I think 60 to 70% seemed like they didn't really care. They wanted to first try out the game mode first, experience it, see if it's a big deal, and I totally agree with that because, you know, we might not need it, but my gut is telling me that many people will prefer the ability to actually select a command post and choose that command post as a respawn point. And it would be cool to see the addition of a map overview as well, you know, similar to how the original Star Wars Battlefront 2 did it, similar to how the Battlefield series does it as well. Because again, you know, I'm looking back to the originals and I'm like, you know, why wouldn't they just add the ability to spawn on command posts? It's a feature that much of the community wants, including myself. So again, what do you make of this? Let me know in the comments. But I'm going to have to play the mode myself, experience it, and really form an honest opinion on this because honestly, it might not matter. We'll have to see. Now, let's move on to the vehicles that have been confirmed for this mode and all of that stuff. So, Jay posted this out. He said, here's the battle point costs. He confirmed there's speeders, ATRTs, AATs, aerials, enforcers, infiltrators, of course, and then the era-specific heroes. And there's the battle point cost breakdown for each one of those in the Capital Supremacy game mode. So, that is exciting to know that we get to experience that many vehicles on this new game mode. But you'll notice the ATTE is missing, and they did explain that the ATTE would not be balanced for this mode, I guess. That's what they said. But it would still be cool to see the ATTE make an appearance in this mode in the future because it's such a bummer that it's not in this mode. So we'll see if they add it in the future. I sure hope so. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Now, also, I did want to mention something else concerning the spawning. We cannot forget that squad spawning is still available in this mode. So even though, you know, we can't pick, you know, the command post as the spawn point, you can still spawn on your teammates, which is certainly going to be beneficial for you and your team. Just make sure, if your team is depending on you, stay alive. Now, back to the vehicles. I know I'm kind of jumping back and forth. They did confirm that there are no starfighters in the Capital Supremacy mode. And, you know, Jay said, just as a reminder, there are no starfighters on Geonosis in Galactic Assault either. Nothing new with them not being a part of Capital Supremacy on Geonosis. That is a conscious choice on our part based on how the planet is. Not a lot of cover. And for me personally, I do agree with this decision. You know, starfighters can be just very annoying, especially if there's no cover. And I totally agree with this decision. But it would be cool to see maps added in the future that do have starfighters, because I know a lot of you enjoy playing with the starfighters, including myself. So let me know what you think about this. Now, I usually do just jump over to Starfighter Assault if I want that full-blown Starfighter experience, because I love Starfighter Assault. So, of course, you can do that, but it would be cool, regardless, to see some Capital Supremacy maps in the future added that have some starfighters in them. Also, let's talk about the heroes. So they did confirm that 4 heroes for each side will be playable all at once for the ground phase and the capital ship phase. So when you're on the ground capturing the 5 command posts, you'll be able to play with all 4 heroes at once on each side, and then also when you're in the capital ship. So that's really good news. And as a reminder, the heroes for Capital Supremacy are currently only limited to Clone Wars era heroes. And let's move on to this next subject. So the community manager also said the AI troops have been working out great during our playtest. It's not always about size, it's about how many players it needs to feel just right. So if you're worried about the additional AI players just being these clunky AI units, they've said that they are programmed very well for Capital Supremacy. Of course, we're going to have to form our own opinion on that and really experience the AI ourselves, but I think it's really cool that they added 12 additional AI per side, so it makes it 32 versus 32. It's going to be freaking awesome, so I cannot wait for it. So overall, I'm very, very excited about this game mode, and I'm really hoping for the best for this game mode, and that we get a lot more maps for it, a lot more support, maybe additional features like, the ability to spawn on command posts, maybe add the ATT in there, and so on. So let me know, again, what you all make of this. So far, it seems like an overall positive reception from what I saw on Reddit. There were some people, not happy about the inability to spawn on command post. There are some people that were not happy that they couldn't play with starfighters, that the ATT wasn't in there, and so on. So there's some mixed opinions in there, but overall, it seems like a lot of people are certainly looking forward to this game mode for sure. But I will see you next time. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. I will see you again. Enjoy the rest of your day, and may the Force be with you always.
Wow.